clues in here. So tonight we are going to be talking about the January class to go. Now, I've skipped this in December, so many of you may have forgotten, but each month I try to pick a product from the catalog and I present that suite of products to you, and then I offer you the opportunity to order the products plus anything else you might need, and I will then send you the kit of the cards we're making tonight. And I'm getting a message. So, here we go. Tonight we're going to be using the new mini January to June catalog, which just went live today. And I can finally show you the inside. But first, I'll show you what we're going to be using. We're going to use this. This is called Slim Sayings. We're going to use the Slim Sayings bundle. And this is such a neat bundle. It's large stamped words or fonts, but then it has these really fun dies. And I don't know if you know, but slimline cards are all the rage. So I'm going to put this aside, though I know many of you would probably like to peek into it. And I'm going to show you. I also purchased this. Anything that's checked means I purchased it. I will show you one other real quick thing if I can find where I put it. And of course, I don't see where I put it. Oh, got it. Nope, I don't. Okay, whatever. Got it. Third time's a charm. Okay, the other really cool thing is, in addition to these slimline dies and card stamps, Stampin' Up! Also came out with slimline envelopes. How neat are these? There's 3 colors. It's white, it's basic gray, and then there's this soft succulent. So I really felt like I needed to show you those. Those are also on this page in the mini catalog. Okay, so let's show you the actual stamps and dies. This is the stamp set, and as I said, it has nice large font because we have lots of space to work with. And then these are the dies. Okay, now our dies are normally like, reaching behind me just to grab a random set. Our dies normally come in something that's like this size. So you can see these are really large. And we have this, there are 4 dies included. I call this a quatrefoil. I don't really know what it is. And it has this kind of bubble cloud border. And then this other one is this chevron, and then this really nice dotted or dashed label kind of edge. And we're going to use this tonight. We're going to use this, and we are also using this guy. I've already used this for one card, so I'll show you that real quick. This was my Happy New Year card, and as you can see, I used one of the long line envelopes as well. So this is how this would fit in here. Are these not the coolest? So this was just a Happy New Year card for a challenge that I'm in, but I wanted to show that to you. So our first card tonight, I have already cut the pieces that needed to be die cut, but I have not stamped. So what I did was I cut the chevron die twice. Once in this fabulous paper from the annual catalog, and once in polished pink. So I'm going to take my favorite glue. You can use any favorite glue that you have, and I'm going to glue this down. Now what I like about this is I'm using kind of a fine tip glue, which will come in handy shortly. Okay. Not good with fillers here tonight, sorry. Okay, I can't actually see my screen, so I'm not sure if you have joined already or not. I will be leaving this video up so that you can watch it later if you can't be here with me live. If you have any questions, just shoot me a message, send me a text, send me an email, whatever, and I will get right back to you as soon as I can. Okay, so as you can see, I'm just gluing this front piece down. Wish I'd have been a little more on the ball and gotten it a little more even, but that looks pretty good. So then what I was thinking about is I'm going to take these pieces I cut out, and I don't know if you could tell this, I laid them out sort of in order as they came out because I thought that might be better. Okay, the side didn't get enough glue. I'm trying not to over glue, but apparently you can under glue also. So I'm going to start with the very edges. And by the way, this is the most time consuming card. The others should be, I hope, much faster. Okay, so I'm just thinking that we can fill in kind of like, a puzzle more or less. And you don't have to, this would have been perfectly pretty with just a background color behind this and some words on top. But I wanted to do something just a little different and a little more festive because I'm making this into a birthday card. And again, I'm not going to go over the top tonight, but you know what might be really neat is to combine stamp sets, and after I add my text, which I'll do here momentarily, if I had put like a big flower on here, but I was thinking this was probably busy enough because it's going to have all of this color, and I love this color. Love this designer series paper I'm using, and again, you can find it on my website under printed paper, or you can find it under designer series paper in the annual catalog. So see the difference this makes? I'm just sort of filling this in. I've got a little place where the background needs a little glue. Okay, so the next ones. Seriously, the most challenging part of this was keeping all of my pieces in order when I lifted them off the Stampin' Cut machine, the die cut machine. Okay. And I did tell you, this is our most time-consuming card, right? I may have been wrong about that. There may be one more that takes a little longer, because I honestly thought this would take me longer to do. Figured I'd be all nervous and would drop pieces or whatever. So there we go. 3 more to go. And then after I do this, I'm going to stamp a sentiment on this piece of basic white cardstock. You may ask yourself why you need basic white. I have 2 different basic whites here that I'm using. My base card is made from our thick basic white cardstock, and it's really nice for card bases or box bases because it's a little more stiff and a little more thick. Now this is our standard basic white, and it's so smooth and so nice, and it absorbs the ink so well. That's why I like to use it for stamping. So yes, I honestly do have 2 different types of basic white. Okay, here we go. Now I'm going to use these lines on my desktop, and forgive if my head gets in here, but I think it probably will. Okay. I might try that again on the other side. Oh, no, I won't, because apparently that was a leftover piece. Okay. Let me just grab another one from my stash up there. Okay, that one looks good. I think I needed to have inked up my my stamp just a little more. Ooh, this one's really tight. Let me see. Yeah, guys, not happy here. Third time's a charm, right? Let's try this third time and see how we do. Well, I'm not sure that's any better than number one. In fact, I think number one might be it. So, I'm going back to number one. Sorry about that. Sometimes it just works out that way. And while I'm here real quick, I want to get out this really, really dirty chamois and clean my stamp. And I know it looks like it will not clean that, but yeah, it really does. Because I don't want that polished pink on my next card, or at least not the same way. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach this on here, but I thought we might, sorry, reaching around myself here, thought we might jazz up the end just a little bit. I'm not sure how much space we have to do this, so let's pull this out here and just go right to the end. Yay, that's working nicely. I love this little Pick-a-Punch banners punch. It has two different ends. You can have it going that way or this way. I chose to do it this way for this one, but this is just a great item to have in your stash. You can cut things that are 1 inch, 3/4 of an inch, or 1/2 inch wide. And then of course you can go more narrow, but you just have to kind of center it up in here when you get there. I've also been known to go over just a little bit and make it work. So yeah, love that. So again, we've got this great birthday. I don't know if I want it down here, or if I want it up here, or if I want it way back over here. What do you guys think? Somehow or the other I like it better on this end. I don't know why. So let's get out my Stampin' dimensional dots here and add a few. I think it's funny that I used cardstock that had some hearts on the back. Clearly I was working on my Valentine's already. Okay, let's pop this off. This card is so easy to make, seriously. The worst part is, you know, putting all the pieces together. So I like to use these lines on my background to hopefully get things straight. Don't you think that? Kind of like that. Now I wonder if I can reach the ribbon without pulling down all the other ribbon up there. Now, I did not have a plan for this ribbon. I am totally winging it at this point. Don't know if I'm on the screen. I am not. I have this tendency to work close to my body, and then what I'm doing doesn't show up on the computer. Sorry about that. Okay, so this is the same ribbon that matches. It's one of our end colors for this year. It matches this polished pink paper, and it is, of course, called Polished Pink. So I'm going to do one of my double loop bows where I hold this right here. Go around. That's a little big. Around again. 2, 2, and then I kind of cut a tail because I can trim that down later. You take this and you go over and you wrap it around, and then this is like tying a shoe where you come back through that middle loop right there, and then you pull. Ouch. And then you pull, and you have a double bow. Now you can do that with triple bows, you can do that with whatever size bows you like. I just thought maybe this may be too big, I don't know, but I was thinking maybe just some kind of fun bow on here, because it is a birthday and it does need a little dressing up. Okay, I think my tails are a little long, so I'm going to trim that down, and maybe trim this guy down. And what do we think? Let me try it this way. I don't know that I love this, honestly. Now, my friend Toby would laugh because I apparently say, not liking this, or, ooh, I really like this. Well, I'm not liking this right this second. Okay, I'm going to go with it. And somewhere on my desktop, I put out glue dots, little baby glue dots, for this very purpose. We're going to put a glue dot on there, and then put it right up there in that corner. There, that looks a little better. Now, I also got out my in color gems, and these match the annual in colors. And I don't see the picky tool that I want to use. It's probably buried on my desktop over here somewhere. So, I'm just going to grab a couple of polished pink and put them on here. And maybe over here. Maybe one or two right out in the paper. What do we think? Because again, I'm totally winging it at this point. Okay, now I could take another sentiment and I could write something inside or stamp something inside. But for right now, I kind of like this birthday card. It's looking pretty good. So this is card number 1. Oh, I know what I was going to put on here also. I just looked up at my desktop. These are also in the new catalog. I have these fun gold butterflies. Aren't these really special? So I was thinking they might look cute because there's so much gold in this DSP, this designer series paper. If we had just a few butterflies fluttering around on this. And I'll pick it up for you in a second so you can see how these look. But I think this is going to be really, really cute. Except for I can't decide where I want this one. Maybe right there on the edge of the gold. So they're small, they're subtle, but they just add a little something there. So there we go. Again, that's card number 1. Now I've got to move out my stuff. Put my ribbon back up there because I don't know that I'm going to use that color again. And we're going to go on to card number 2. Card number 2 is going to look a little familiar to you because remember those chevron pieces I cut out? Oops, I just bent that one up. Well, I decided to save that instead of trash it because how pretty is this? Love this. So I thought we could use this as a card front for card number 2. Now, I did the same thing. I took a piece of our cardstock, and our normal color cardstock it's a little heavier. It makes a nice card base. And I cut this at 8 1/4 by 7, and I scored it at 3 1/2. So this fits on there, and that'd look okay, but I decided we needed to jazz this up just a little. And I cut 2 inserts, and I think these are 3 by 8, and the one is going to go on the cover right behind our chevron, and the second is going to go inside for stamping. So I thought it'd be really nice to ink up this background. I need just a piece of scrap paper real quick. Where are you? This is called thinking I had everything laid out, but you know, maybe not. Alright, this is truly scrap paper. So I'm going to start here. And I am using our blending brushes and just kind of going back and forth. You can go in circles if you want. I just want to, and you don't have to push really hard. I actually find myself pushing too hard and have to remind myself to knock it off. So I always try to start at the darker end and then work my way up or down as the case may be. Okay, and I'm going here. And the reason I sometimes kind of stamp off just or dab off just a little is I don't want like a big smudged area where it's darker where I put down the brush, like that little spot's a little darker. Now, it's not bad, it's not going to bother me, I say. Okay, it might bother me later, but for right now I'm going to pretend it doesn't bother me, and we're just going to move on. I can't remember, I think our brushes come in sets of 3. I have, oh gosh, maybe 9 of them, and I use color families on them. So this one is for like yellows and what's this color called over here? The bumblebee and mango and those kind of colors. And then I have one just for pinks, just for reds, just for blues, just for purples, dark greens, and then another one for light greens. Same thing with the purples. I mean, sorry, with the greens and the blues. I have dark blue and light blue, and yeah. Anyway, I use 9 of these, and they are washable, but they're just great for spreading ink like this. Now, you may wonder why I chose to use this yellow, this Daffodil Delight, along with the polished pink. And the reason is, those are the colors that are in the Designer Series paper. So I'm kind of adding this, and it's going to be the background. Okay, and then I'm running these colors together, and I'm doing this a little bit ombre, so it starts off darker on the ends and gets lighter near the middle, and then it's going to get darker again on the ends. I'm in that fun part where I kind of run them together. Okay, dot, dot, dot. Some people circle. I circle sometimes, and sometimes I just go back and forth. Okay, I'm feeling pretty good about this. Let's see how this looks with our Designer Series paper over it. Not bad, huh? Way better than just plain. Hold this up. You can't really, you're not getting as good of a view of the yellow, but bear in mind this was white, and I don't know if you can see that any better. The yellow actually looks really good. I didn't want to go real dark, but the camera's not picking it up as dark as it really is. It's much darker than you're seeing it. I mean, it's not dark, but it's not white like it looks on camera. Okay, let me close these because if not, I will be wearing them. Alright, so, have my base card, have my chevron piece. Let me move my blending brushes out of my way. So, I'm back to my trusty glue. Okay. And I am going to add just little thin lines of glue to these small little cutouts on the chevron, and hopefully hold all this together. Okay. I have a silicone mat, if you're wondering what this brown mat is that I was using, and it's great. You can just wipe it off. The adhesive will wipe off, the ink will wipe off, so I'm not getting ink on my desktop. I know I don't usually have this black background on my desktop when I'm doing videos, but what happened was I laid out my pieces yesterday afternoon after I cut them, and I thought, oh, I'm so not moving those, I'll have to put them all back in order. So I just decided to go with the black desktop because it was there and it worked. Okay, yay. Alright, we have that glued together, and I see a couple little dots I'm going to take off, but otherwise I feel pretty good about this. Let me move the chevron, I'm sorry, the mat, whatever he is there, silicone mat. Alright, now we're going to add, you can use your favorite adhesive on the back, you can use, your runner or whatever. I really am a glue girl. I don't mean to be, but I am. Alright, so we're going to put this on the front of here. Try and center it up there. Oh, I wish you could see how pretty this is. I really like it. I think doing that background just was such a good idea. Alright, I have a confession. I don't remember what I'm putting on the front of this. Oh, yeah. I thought about doing it this way, so it'll slip, long way into the envelope. And I have some very nice cardstock here. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do other than we're going to stamp. You are really fabulous on here. I'll probably embellish this some more. Okay. And yes, I'm still not getting... Maybe I need to re-ink my ink. That could be the problem. Maybe it's not that my stamps haven't been used, or it's both. It's probably both, because that one looks much better. But you know what? I used this for so long and have not re-inked it in a while, so that could be the issue right there. Reaching across, my inks are stacked up in front of me. They're in a holder where they slide in. So, guess what? I have my cutter buried over there. Let's pull it out. Let's see what we get. Okay, I want to trim a little off the bottom here. And it'd be really nice is if I had thought ahead and created a die cut and stamped my sentiment on the die cut. But yes, I did not think ahead that far. So, I'm just going to use this guy on here. And I might, let's see how this works. See, he's a little big. Might just use this anyway. Let's see if I can make this work, even though I've got it just a little big. Sure we can. It just slides right up in there and cut. Yay. And same thing on the other end. We're going to slide it up in there, kind of center it right in there, and cut. And yes, those did just fly up and hit me in the face. Okay, so I could easily put this right down here, and I think I'm going to do that. I'm just going to pop those up. But I can't be happy with it just being that plain. I want to be happy with it, I just can't quite bring myself to be. So I'm wondering what this would look like if we did a little back and forth ribbon down here, and maybe add this over top just to, but I've got to remember though, I've got back and forth going with my chevrons, so maybe not. Don't you hate it when you can't decide? And that's where I am. I just can't decide what I want to do with this. I normally have a plan when I get on here. Apparently I left a lot to my imagination this time. Sorry about that. Works much better when I have a plan. Alright, yeah, I'm going to do this. And first I'm going to look for my Seal Plus runner. And what I'm going to do is just do a couple little dashes of that, because that'll just sort of hold it down in the middle there. And take my scissors and cut off right down here my little Stampin' Up snips. Okay, and then I'm going to go back up, making sure I turn this over the right way. And boom. Okay, so I'm going to do that, and then have the You Are Fabulous going over it. It's not much. I actually kind of wish I had made it more of an angle. Wonder if I can. It's not written in blood. We can move it a little. Watch me not like it after I move it. Yeah, the thing is I still want it to be like that. Doggone it. I'm so sorry I'm doing this. I'm making you wait here while I play. But see, we all do it. It's not just you when you're crafting. It's not just me. We all are like, oh, I don't know if I like that. Let me see what I can do to make that better. Okay, so here's the deal. I like it better, but now it's way too far to the right. See how I am? Sorry about this. Those of you I met at the craft show, you're probably wondering, how did she ever get all those things made? If she moves things around so much. Okay, looking for my bigger dimensionals, and I don't see them, so I'm going to cheat and make some bigger dimensionals by using the edges. When you buy our dimensionals, you not only use all of the dots in the middle, you also use the borders and every other piece. You paid for that, you need to use that. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to put these on the back and pull the backing. Turn my card around here using my grid lines and put this on here. So, after all that fussing with it, I still don't love my ribbon, but I really love the ink brushed in behind this really pretty designer series paper. And again, you can see that this is the frame that these chevron pieces came out of. But yeah, I really like this particular paper with this die. And so yes, I am going to just throw a couple of these on it. Ah, I found my favorite pokey tool. Okay, so I'm going to throw a couple of these on here, and then I'm going to move on. I'm trying not to get bogged down. Oh, and I'm going to grab some of the yellow and go up here into the yellow land. There we go. So that card is finished. Oh no, it's not. I'll do this later though, so that you're not waiting for me. Somewhere in front of me, I think I was dotting on the wrong one. Nope, that's not it. Oh, please don't be it. I lost the insert from my card. Okay, somewhere on my desk somewhere, there's supposed to be another white piece that was the insert. And when you get yours, it will have the insert all cut, and it will go in here, and you'll have a white piece that you glue down. Clearly this is not it because it's too big, and I inked off on it. But yeah, we'll figure that out later. Okay, let me clean up for a second, and we will go on to card number 3. And this is card number 3 of 4. Okay, now let me get rid of, again, the pink ribbon, because this time we are really not going to use it again, I promise. Okay, this time I used what I call the quatrefoil die, and I cut it out, and then I cut a Misty Moonlight piece of cardstock that is almost exactly the same size as the die, or the die cut. Again, the same 8 1/4 by 7, scored at 3 1/2. The other thing I did was cut an extra one of these, because I thought, how fun would this be on the inside of the card? So yay. Alright, I'm gonna, this one's harder to glue down, I'm just not even kidding. But it's much tinier little lines, and you know, I don't want it to be a gluey mess. So this is going to take me a minute. Now I will tell you that when I cut these dies, they take up the entire plate on my regular sized, you know, the full sized Stampin' Cut machine. So you have to be careful when you're placing them on your cutting platform, that you get the edges, you know, so they're not hanging off on one end or the other. Okay, feeling pretty good about this. I know I'll have to go back and do a little touch up on it, but I want to make sure these outside edges are going to stay down. Okay, let's give this a try and see how inky I get myself, or I'm sorry, how gluey I get myself. Yeah. Alright, I'm going to start in the corner down here and lay it on top. Kind of pull those edges just a little. I got this one off just a touch over there. Oh, right on the edge now. Alright, I don't want these little bits of glue to show. I am using glue that dries clear because yeah, that would really make me crazy if it didn't. Know myself well enough. Okay, see how these are just really pretty and cut out? And I'm going to put this up close so you can see what it looks like. I saved a bunch of the cutout pieces. Let me see, where are they? Okay, I didn't save a bunch. I saved a few because, oh no, I did save a bunch. I found a whole pile of them because I really like to just fill in a few of them. I think that's kind of fun. And I don't want to be too matchy-matchy on how I do it, but I do want to give this a go. Gotta find one that looks like it might work. There we go. But see, you can just fill in a little bit and that looks really cute. It just adds a little interest that wouldn't be there otherwise. Hope my Facebook Live is still working. Right, I think we need one more up here and maybe one more down here. So let's put this one up here. And I never really know, and I say it like I've done 20 of these. This is only the second time I've done this card, or this, this cut. But I never really know how many I'm going to fill in. I just kind of go with it. Alright, let me get rid of all the extras. Now, I do really, really like that. And while I'm gluing, I'm going to put a little bit of glue in the middle of each of these spots. And then this is the hard one. It's going to be getting this inside the card without gluing the front and back of the card together, which I would probably do. Let's just be honest here. Alright, I need it to go up just a touch. And over. I realize you can't see that because I am working off the edge again. See how nice that is? I could have put it over here, but that gives me lots of room still to write inside this card. And it's going to add a little interest to the inside when you have this on the cover, and then you open it up, and boom. And I'm not going to do this, but if you really wanted to add more interest and more color to the inside, okay, I said I'm not going to do it, but I actually kind of like it. I have these chevrons that I cut out, and they are double-sided. I could add a little more color on the inside by popping in a couple of the blues. Okay, I said I wasn't going to do it, but I think I am. Or do I want to do it with the golds? Wish I could see your comments right now. I think I'm going to do the blues. The inside's going to need some blue also. Except for this piece is stuck and telling me, no, you're not. Alright. Okay, there we go. I think I like it enough to use it. Okay, and that guy needs to just have a little more glue on him. Alright. And one more, right down here. And I do hope you can see this. And I'm dropping it. Okay, I actually think this does look even better because now we have this blue and, oh, I keep forgetting the name of this color, goodness, Bumblebee. Blue and Bumblebee front, Misty Moonlight and Bumblebee, and now inside we've added Bumblebee with some Misty Moonlight. So, yep, I think it's going to work. And I think I'm not going to stick them together, so that makes me happy. Okay, and again, I could have used my Stampin' Seal Plus to do this. We have two of these runners in the Stampin' Up line. There's Stampin' Seal and there's Stampin' Seal Plus. I'm going to confess I'm a Stampin' Seal Plus fan. I like to know that when I attach something, it's going to stay attached. So the plus just gives it that little extra oomph of stick, and I like that. Okay, here's my basic card front. Now, I have picked out You Are One of a Kind, and I have picked up this piece of Misty Moonlight. I'm sorry, this piece of Bumblebee. Wow. Guys, I have no idea why I can't remember the name of this paper tonight. And ink and ribbon. Hang on, I've got markers of it. We have the whole thing going. I just can't seem to recall its name. Okay, I'm going to stamp that on there. That looks pretty good. I don't know if you can tell. That's definitely Misty Moonlight. It looks almost navy, but it's Misty Moonlight. Now, I'm getting my paper trimmer back over here. And we're kind of casing this right from the catalog, this little part anyway. Alright, I want to know where that falls, and that falls at about 1/2 inch. So I'm going to go over here and trim this so that the D is at about 1/2 inch. And that looks about right, except I think it's too big. So now that I've got them even, I'm going to make them uneven. I'm going to turn this around and cut about that same amount off the other side. Okay, better. And yes, this is how I do it. I eyeball. Okay, now I'm going to cut a little bit off the bottom. And you can't see this, I just realized, because I'm doing that thing I do where I work right in front of myself. Okay. Now I want to cut these apart and have them be somewhat of equal size. And yes, I could have measured this out and done a better job, but I know we've been on here for a while and I'm trying not to keep you all night. And one more. We're going to cut the top. And if I had wanted to, you know what might have been pretty cool was to let the top have some sort of design, but it's too late for that. So we're going to move on. Alright, get rid of my little pieces. Now what we're going to do is we're going to pop these up on here. And this is going to be our sentiment, but it takes up quite a bit of room, and it has plenty of room because it's on, this vertical front of this slimline card. How's that? So I'm just going to take some pop dots, and because I used our heavy white cardstock, it's white on the inside, so I don't even need to worry about putting another piece in there like I'm going to have to with the pink, or if I had, used the dark blue. If I had used the Misty Moonlight cardstock, I'd be lining the inside. And also, we wouldn't have this nice white border, which I like. Alright, so what I managed to do that time was pull off the little labels, but not pull off. Okay, here we go. Let's try it and see. Trying to line these up so they're not too crooked. Okay, you're about to see neurotic me at my best. Yes, I am getting out something to use as a straight edge. Oops, and it slipped. Okay. You know what? I don't know if I can do this, but I want it over this way just a little more, which means this guy needs to move for me, and he's probably not going to want to, because once our dimensionals are in place, they really can give you grief about moving. But I think I got it. Alright. It's going to move. Okay. Big sigh of relief, and we will move on. Alright, 4 more little baby dimensionals and we'll be ready to move on to the final card, and I'll explain what I did with that one. Okay, I really do like these slimline cards. I think they're super fun, and I know that the price point on this set is a little high, but I think it's because of the different size. It's not, our normal size, with these dies. Anyway, so there we go. You are one of a kind. And then we open it up, and you can write anything you want inside. I really like this. Okay, last card. The last card, I decided not to use the chevron or the quarter foil. I decided to use that label edge. Where is it? This guy. I decided to use this. So what I did was I cut a piece of designer series paper to fit the front of the card. And then I cut the die. I ran the die through the die machine kind of across one side and equal on the paper. And then I did my match across the middle thing, which I didn't just do that just now, but match across the middle. And then I cut the other edge so that it would fit right on the front, but be kind of fun. Now again, this designer series paper is in the annual catalog, if you decide you love this. Now for the front of the card, which I just had and don't know what on earth I just did with. Oh man, oh good, it fell back. I decided we're going to try this effect. No, you can't see that. Well, you still can't see that well. What I did was took the Bumblebee, I almost forgot it and had to look it up again, the Bumblebee ink, and I stamped happy in cursive, and I stamped it off once so it's a little lighter, and then I used the Misty Moonlight and did the happy birthday. And the other thing I did ahead of time is I cut the middle of my card. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take my little end piece off and see if I can make this go a little faster. I love this paper. I mean, I could have used either side. Alright, here we go. So we're going to glue this down flat on this really, really, really pretty card base. And this card base is Calypso Coral. Love this. And I love how nice those look together. So then I took a piece of our Night of Navy and I made it to go down the middle. And I have that all pre-cut. So I'm going to go ahead and just apply some glue and figure out where I want this to go. I want to be able to see those flowers on the edge there. That's kind of important to me, so I'm sort of lining that up in there. Except, there we go. Whew. Had it going one way than the other. Alright, and then what I'm going to do to finish is I'm going to stamp my sentiment in the way I just showed you on here, right up the middle. So, remember that happy birthday stamp I cleaned up earlier? Right there. And I think I'm going to get out the Night of Navy instead of the Misty Moonlight. And I'm going to get out my little Try It Out stamping piece. And we're going to try this out. Ooh, I didn't get the Y. Okay, let me just see how I like that. Okay, now what I'm going to do is try and center this between here. It's about there, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I think the middle's about right here, roughly. So I'm going to just lay that right there to remind myself that that's roughly the middle. And again, you can see I am using the grid. It's kind of like use the forks, Luke, only in my case it's use the grid, Susan. Yay, it's a little on that end. Should we flip it and try one more time? We're going to flip it and try one more time. We'll decide which one we like better. Okay. Make sure I've got this nice and inked up, and I do. Alright, we're going to try one more time. Sorry if my head's in the camera. Much better. Nice, even, dark. I like that. So let me close up old Knight of Navy before I am wearing him. And in the stamp set, I did this thing that some of you will freak out over. See how we have Happy for You? Well, I took that stamp and I just cut off the happy because I can still put it back together on a block and use the entire phrase, or I can just, use any part of it that way. I do not routinely cut apart all my stamps, but occasionally I will cut apart something that I really think I need to use for some reason. Now, I wish you could see this better, and I know you can't. But I'm going to do the happies, and what I'm doing is inking up, stamping off, stamping on, inking up, stamping off the heaviest, and then stamping on the background. And I know that you can barely see this, and I apologize. And I really am making them go all over the place, kind of on purpose, so that they're not lined up. I don't want to overdo it here, so I think I'm just going to do one more right there. Now, so they're pretty haphazard. I don't know if you can tell. Not really, huh? Sorry about that. That's probably the best view. And it'll look good, though, on the front of this. I promise. Alright, let me get rid of my icky parts now. So for this last card, we're just going to put this right down the middle. Now, if I wanted to, I could come back and do some sort of floral on this, or, something else. But I really like this simple card. It's kind of basic and easy, and this time I will use the runner because I want this to be nice and flat. I could have wrapped twine around this. I could have raised this up, but I really think I just want this to be even and flat. And the thing about this this runner, our plus thing here, is, boy, once you get that on there, it's not going to move. So you be sure to get it where you want it the first time. I really wish you could see this better, because I actually really like this card. And then you open it up. And I would use it with one of our white envelopes. So I'm going to show you one more time what I used tonight. I used this stamp set with this die set, and this is a bundle in the new catalog. And it comes with all of this, and again, a little pricey, but I know that's because of the size of these dies. Okay, and so when you order the bundle, you get 10% off the total price. It's this plus this minus 10%, so you save a little by ordering them all together. I used the color I could not recall all night long. I used Bumblebee. I used Knight of Navy, I used Misty Moonlight, and I used the Magenta Madness. So, and then other than that, I just used the in-color gems, some in-color ribbon to match the pink, and stamp blocks, of course. Love our stamp blocks. And that's about it. I do recommend, if you decide that you love these slimline cards as much as I do, that when you order this, that you also order, there they are, they're underneath my cutter, that you also order the slimline envelopes, because they are just, great with this. So, here we go. And I think the slimline envelopes are like $10 more for a nice little package of them. I'm not going to be able to lay all this out because for you to see all of it. So I guess I'm just going to do it little by little. I have moved whatever's on the... I've moved my desktop as I've been working. Where's my other card, you guys? There it is. Okay. So it's these two. Let me try and get this out of here and see what you can see. Oh yeah, I totally moved that, didn't I? Sorry. And this, and I don't know if you can see that. Hope you can. And this. So these 4 fun slimline cards that I'm just making a mess out of here. Sorry about that. That is the January class to go. If you decide that you would like to purchase this, what you would get would be the bundle. And I will then either mail you, or if you're local, I'll deliver to you. I'll cut the pieces to make these 4 cards. So anything you have to stamp, you're still going to have to cut. But like this piece would be all set and you just have to stamp and put it together. These pieces will be all cut, and I probably would be nice and number the back for you so you'll see where they go. This piece would be one piece and then you'll have to cut it apart. I will include the ribbon, the gems, etc. So that's how my class to go works. I hope you all have had a great start to your new year. I have a bingo coming up later this month on the 23rd from 2 until 5:30. We'll play 7 rounds of bingo, and bingo is always fun, but then we add Stampin' Up to that, and it just kicks it up a notch. So we play 7 rounds of bingo, and the prizes are all brand new Stampin' Up products. And then we make 3 cards. The cost of that event is $35. You will get a card kit, you'll get a welcome gift, you'll get a little surprise from me, and then you'll get all your bingo cards, and then you'll have a fun time. So if you're interested in that, just shoot me a message, give me a call, text me, whatever. Hope you all have a good night. Thanks for popping in with me. Bye.